Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft, here with your hosts Blackjack and Babagusta and our match admin Foxy, as we are here for the fourth day of Division 2, going live with the second stream. We do apologize for the inconvenience right there, but due to host end issues, we had to quickly end the first one and start things off with the second one. A fresh start with a fresh match and a fresh map, as well as Red Vipers will be taking on Throw Syndicate live on your screens very shortly on the map of Theme Park, I believe it is, which is certainly going to make for a very interesting game. But before we get into it, we will, of course, be looking at the table for the division currently in this season, which will be going live as well on your screens right now, in fact. Excuse me, there, and a little bit of a sad time for both Red Vipers and Throw Syndicate. More so for Throw, seeing as they haven't even put themselves on the board this season. 0 points and a -13 round conversion. That's a very bad spot to be in. They're going to fight just to stay in Division 2 if they even can. Red Vipers have some points on the board, but they're still not clear of that relegation spot. Speaking of both of these teams, you can see some of the highlighted players right now, as Adi and Anaconda are our players to watch out for today. A Jaeger main and a Thermite main. It's a very interesting contrast right there, as both of them have performed fairly admirably for their teams in this season. Well, I say fairly admirably given their position in the table. It's not exactly looking too good. Let's join the teams in the ban phase of the map, Theme Park, which will be going live on your screens right now, as Thatcher, Maverick, and Kaid have been banned so far. This is a very Clubhouse-esque ban that I'm getting to see on the map of Theme Park. Not really too surprising. Theme Park also has certain hatches and walls that even if you don't use a bandit, Kaid is very good for. And without the Thatcher or the Maverick, having a Kaid ban only makes sense. Valkyrie, on the other hand, will be the ban from Throw's Syndicate side. A very interesting decision, if I do say so myself, as Throw Syndicate are a team that somewhat relies on intel, if you ask me, or at least could rely a little bit more on their intel game. But today they will refuse to do that, with the Valkyrie ban being their own. Round one will be underway on second floor bunk and daycare. But before we get there, let's have a look at both of the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Red Vipers, we've got Anaconda, Bearfur, Electric, Seth, and Ali G. And from the side of Throw Syndicate, we've got Killsteel, Hecko, A Bit, Cheesy Chimkin, and Adi, the man, well, one of the two men of the hour. Now, with all that being said, round one will be underway, and I've kept the man for the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Well, thank you for that, Jack, and also what a very interesting day, because we're going to be seeing Theme Park. After all the maps of Oregon and Clubhouse that we had to cast this time, we'll be able to see Theme Park being brought up from the teams of Red Vipers and Throw Syndicate. Red Vipers will be the one on attack with a very interesting bans. The side of Red Vipers, Maverick and Kaid, a pretty standard one, and also Thatcher and Valk on the side of Throw Syndicate. The first site that they will pick would be on second floor bunk and daycare. Most of the picked sites would either be on first floor throne room and armory. Looks like they'll decide to go for second floor bunk and daycare instead, and whether the action phase will proceed. And interesting placements being used here from Throw Syndicate. A Goyo's Vulcan Shield and a Mira's Wall being prepped right from the daycare. Actually, right in towards the bunk, and also one more right in towards the offices. That's the main place where the attackers do come in. That would be in towards the cash room, and also their main entryway will also be in towards the cafe as well. And looks like Seth and the Ace, in which Ali G is playing, will make his way in towards the cash room with a bit of drone watch to give them information as to see what kind of positionings, placements, and also holes been made through the walls to make sure that they'll be able to use it against their advantage. But for now, talking about the attackers, you have two of the hard pieces. That would be Anaconda with the Hibana, as well as the LEG on the Ace. Now they will make their way with the Dronos almost giving them good vital information. Still need to be worried about the offices as well as one particular place. So two concussion needs are used to deny the Jaeger's ADSs, followed up with the impact needs to take out the deployable shield. And with it, Red Vipers have gotten control of cash room, but the site is still in second floor bunk and daycare, and they're losing a lot of time, as the remaining time that they have to push in towards the site be on 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Some time remains for the side of Red Vipers. Not a whole lot, just like Baba said right there, but they could still make this execute happen. They're going to have to rely a little bit on their gunfight, and one of those might just be Hecko right now, peeking into bathroom through this line of sight that's been made, but he will take some damage instead from the shots coming in his direction. Killsteel, on the other hand, trying to go out of that control room door. He heard the air jab just in time, of course, and the drone was giving away his position. Unfortunate for him, really, as that could have been a very influential flank had he been allowed to go for it. It's a pretty extensive hold that Throw Syndicate is still able to boast of having. But with the Hibana taking care of one Mira window, it's going to be that much harder to control office. And that's why Killsteel here is going to be a big player. He's going to go down, actually, as that's a trade with Anaconda. Adi, in the meanwhile, finds Ali G. That's another big drop with the Ace taken care of. The AK no longer in play, but Hecko goes down to Seth. In the meanwhile, B trades are coming in as the body trade is heating up right now. Barefoot trying to find somebody on yellow stairs. Won't be able to find the Jaeger just yet. Gas grenades going out. Cheesy Chimkin doing his work as Adi hears that impact going out from the Zofia, but Cheesy Chimkins will find Electric in the meanwhile. Seth needs to get that kill. He's the only one remaining. Cheesy with a shotgun gets another, and now it's all down to the Zofia, last person standing. Seth falls straight into the waiting arms of a bid. Beautifully done right there from the side of Throw Syndicate. They knew, as we will see in the instant replay, that they did not have to peek. They did not have to push out or, be hyperactive in that way. And not again.
Oh boy.
How does this keep happening? Oh, well, we'll be right back with the game, ladies and gents. Don't worry, it is no big issue. It's happened before. We can reconnect nice and quickly. No problems whatsoever. But I do have to say, in that first round, Throw Syndicate, very excuse me, there. The attacking team, pretty jumpy, pretty all over the place. Not exactly a push that you think you would see in round one, especially given that they had plenty of opportunity to take control of office earlier than they eventually did. I think they wanted to go through control room at the same time, but the trade with Mira was where that plan seemed to fall apart, if you will. Now, Red Vipers, of course, they had a game earlier today itself against Vanquish Paradox, wherein they lost 2-7. And yeah, it's not a good showing for them if they lose this match as well. Throw Syndicate, on the other hand, will be desperate to throw some points on the board, if you will, as we're still apparently trying to reconnect. We will be back nice and quickly, ladies and gents. It's a bit of an odd problem, if you will. But I do have to ask, given the way this match has gone so far, Baba, how do you think, it could go on from here? It's only been round one. I know it's hard to predict from round one when it comes to Div 2. But how do you think this match is going to go down from here?
Well, talking about the match itself, the map being on Theme Park, Throw Syndicate will be the one on defense. So I believe Throw Syndicate might be able to end the first half, at least putting it in a 4-2. And then Red Vipers might have a chance on defense to equalize it, putting it at least on 4-4. And then there, at that time, I have no idea what's going to happen next, because either it might be overtime or it's just one of these teams trying to get ahead. So technically, I have no idea on who's is going to win. But talking about the standings, though, we did get to see Red Vipers lose against VPG, which would give them in a very difficult situation and also a negative round conversion rate. But so does Throw Syndicate, who are at the last of the leaderboards, eighth position. They haven't won a single match just yet. They don't have a really good round conversion rate in the end too. With it, the only thing that they can do is try to at least win one or two matches to at least make sure that they wouldn't get relegated in Division 2, and then to try their luck in the next season, which would be on Season 5. Talking about Season 5, ladies and gentlemen, it is live. You could join in for the tournament. All you have to do is head on to the Esports Club. Link is in the description. Solos or squads, you have it. Actually, we have it, and we'll be able to, join you in, maybe see you guys in the qualifiers phase, and see you guys in Division 3 to get to make sure that we'll be able to finally get to see who's going to be in the top of leaderboards. Talking about Division 1, it's always UG. In Division 2, there's always some major changes. Sometimes it is always VPG, sometimes it's L2K. I mean, maybe sometimes it can be Dauntless Esports. Currently, they're not having a good day at all. But talking about Div 3 and Div 2, it always comes to major changes. Except on Div 1, where UG, they're just, relentless on every season. First position every single time. Even with the, Red Vipers, I believe, where they used to be on Division 1, they did try to, get into the top position as soon as possible. But actually, it wasn't on Red Vipers, it was Exterminate Esports. I do have to apologize for that. Exterminate Esports, they did try to break the barrier to try to get into the top position. Unfortunately, it was Union Gaming who somehow dodged a bullet and still be on the top of this tournament. And talking about it, though, unfortunately, we have to go for a rehost, in which we will be right back after this. But just for talking about the match in hand, we still have yet one more match to go, which would be Vanquish Paradox going up against L2K. The match where we get to determine who will actually be in the top of the positions, because Talking about VPG though, they have a huge round conversion rate, which is 24, and they are currently in the top position, having a total points of 12. If L2K did, however, win against VPG, they will also be in, you know, they'll also have then equalized points with VPG. The only difference is that they would still be in second place because of that round conversion. But who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who's going to win it? Who knows? Maybe L2K might deliver a huge blow, putting them to 7-0, in which they might have a chance to get them in the top position in first. But for now, talking about this match though, Red Vipers versus Throw Syndicate, the way how Red Vipers did perform way back when they did go up against VPG, it didn't look too good at all on map Coastline. I believe it was 7-1. I believe, yeah, there you go. It was 7-2, where Red Vipers couldn't handle the aggression of VPG's style of attack, and they couldn't even defend well on defense. Since the map is on theme park, there may be some hope for Team Red Vipers to perform really good on defense. Not quite sure what's going to happen in the first half itself, where the site on second floor bunk and daycare did go in the hands of Throw Syndicate. Maybe we might jump into round three. Who knows? Maybe on round two it did happen or it did not. Maybe it did go for a rehost, in which the score count might be 1-0. But yeah, talking about it, Jack, the way how the ban phase is, just like you said in the ban phase itself, it is kind of similar to Clubhouse, where you most see a Thatcher ban, a Kaid ban, and also a Maverick ban, knowing that a hard breacher ban is basically a necessity to every single maps like Clubhouse, Oregon, and also on Theme Park, where you need a particular walls to open with. So yeah, Jack, that basically answers my question. I know it was a very lengthy 10 marks question that you tried to write it and hopefully make sure that you would get 10 out of 10, but unfortunately it always ends up being 9.5, or maybe 1 or 2 depending on the essay. But yeah, that's actually answered my questions.
Well, it's always nice to talk at length about some of the things that we get to see here in Division 2, Division 1, all of the divisions of the Pro League, just in general. And I do have to agree, while the bands, excuse me, right there, while the bands of the day did resemble Clubhouse to quite an unusual extent, again, I do have to say that it makes sense. When you get a Thatcher ban rolling, you have the attackers banning Maverick, and then you have nobody to get the hard walls breached, especially in Theme Park, right? Because there aren't that many avenues on all the sites to actually get rid of Bandit's batteries or Cade's Electroclaws from soft breach, vertical angles, and all that. Like, even for IQ, it's kind of difficult every now and again. So you want to make sure that Kaid, at the very least, is not available to the defenders. That way, the bandit batteries, they're a little larger, a little bulkier, and they can be found just a little bit easier than a tiny little Electroclaw. Like, that thing is small compared to the bandit batteries, let me tell you that. So, yeah, overall less easy to hide and far easier for attackers to find. So those three bans sort of go in tandem. If, again, it all depends on whether or not the second attacker ban is Maverick. If it's not, then you don't necessarily need to ban Kaid. After Maverick got the extra fuel canister in his blowtorch, he really has had a lot of better times opening up hatches and opening up reinforcements and other lines of sight and whatnot. So that has definitely given Maverick quite a lot to do, but also a lot more reason to ban him as an operator, because instead of just one hatch and maybe a couple of poke holes around sight, you're dealing with someone who can get 2 hatches. That's already more than Ace. So he's still pretty versatile, and even after getting 2 hatches, he can still poke a few holes in and around sight, open up lines of sight that you don't expect, and get kills. So Maverick bans will have picked up, and I do expect them to keep picking up to a certain degree. But unfortunately, we seem to have had another issue here, ladies and gents. Looks like we will be back-ish, question mark. We're gonna have to figure that out, but we will try to be back as soon as possible with the match. Stay tuned while we figure this out. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the game between Throw Syndicate and Red Vipers. It took us a little bit, but we had to go into a full admin rehost to figure out the issues and come back with the game, which is in fact live once again. So let's not waste any further time and get into the match itself. 0-1 is the scoreline as the side of Throw Syndicate took a pretty good, pretty comfortable first round. Red Vipers on the attack, unfortunately, did not look all that good, and they will need to step it up in round 2 as we head to Armory and Throne Room. Vigil and Abana 6 picked in by both sides as the second round comes into play. We are going to go ahead into Armory Throne Room. Let's see what we're going to excuse me, right there. Let's see what we're going to get from Red Vipers. And I completely pulled a tongue twister on myself without even meaning to pull a tongue twister on myself. It's one of those days, if you will. But all things considered, that first round from Red Vipers, I'm not sure what their plan of approach was. Whatever it was, it didn't really seem like it was going to work out, regardless of the way they went about it. Because while they could have taken office control a whole lot sooner, it was that control room initiation area that they wanted to gain a hold of. But as soon as the trade happened with Killsteel, who was playing the Mira in that round, I believe, it became that much harder for the side of Red Vipers. They lost an important player in that situation, and with the trade, coming in with that difficulty of a 4 versus 4, and then you start to lose bodies while having to catch up with the man count, it made Red Vipers' round just that little less reliable. That plan of attack that they had, a little less reliable overall. Throw Syndicate just held inside, or well, in and around site, if you will. And most of the action happened from the lines aside, the rotations, and the areas that they already had control over. And really, Red Vipers, they took control of some areas, some influential points of the map, but unfortunately not too many. But this time they're going to start off correctly, finding Killsteel as the Goyo will fall, but Seth gets refragged onto nearly instantly, and that is a bid taking out a kill for his team. Coming up the yellow stairs, at least he was in that particular instance. Taking out the sledge, Seth off the board, gonna make things a whole lot more harder for Red Vipers. Again, that refrag from Throw Syndicate, and immediately all the defenders, well, most of them, go back into hiding of sorts. It's going to force Red Vipers to drone just that little bit harder to step up their intel game, and that's going to consume time. The less efficient they are with that, and the more the roamers are allowed to play around the second floor, the more time is going to be wasted, and the less number of resources the side of the attack will actually have. Adi here in control room. This is the roamer that I was talking about right now. With a minute 15 on the hands of Red Vipers, they don't have too long before the Vigil starts to move and make his presence known. And he's already on the alert. Minute 5 on the clock. Red Vipers, they're going to have to speed things up.
Talking about speeding things up, the attackers, they only have a minute left to make their play, and with that vertical line of sight being made from the Ash to try to take out the mute jammers and also opening up wall in towards the first floor throne room, they are now prepped and ready to push in towards the site. The only problem is there is still one player in towards the locker room, and that's going to be a bid, patiently waiting for the attackers to make their move, force them to get in towards the side. But Ace has something else to offer, but it's not going to work out. Can he get the second? No, it does not. An instant refrag will come in, whereas CC Chimkims gets one, taking out Electric, and here comes Adi right from the stairs, taking out Bearfur, which leads to Anaconda all by himself. In towards the barrel room will succeed, opening up a wall in towards the throne room, but she doesn't have any seconds nor the man count to try to even go for that refrag. The push will come in, which doesn't work out well from Anaconda, because you have Heko with the AUG to claim the final kill, giving Throw Syndicate the win on first floor Armory and Throne Room. And with it, round 3 will proceed, where Throw Syndicate will be in the lead 2-0. As we proceed to the next round, the site will be on second floor, initiation room and office. So like Team Red Vipers are not having a good day at all. The way how they were going in the attack or the attack phase itself, even having that early kill, even using the soft vertical lines of sight, in which it was pretty late. Not quite sure why it did take quite a lot of time to try to make that vertical line of sight to try to take out the mute jammers. The only main problem is Ali G losing that gunfight against the mute in towards the lockers. Even though he even had that information, he didn't even go for an aim and then decides to push slowly to try to take out the mute. He just immediately went in, misses all the shots and a bit just patiently gets the kill. And also you had CC Chimpkins to even get the cover, taking out both the Ash, forcing the attackers to get the control in towards Locker at a total of 20 seconds time. And with the Throw Syndicate not having any problems dealing with Red Viper's line of attack, they will win 2-0 thanks to how the distractions were made between it. And with it, the site being on a second floor initiation room, it will be a bit more difficult for Red Vipers because they're still figuring out a way here. The only question that I have to ask is whether if they push in towards Cafe or will they push in towards the cash room, or maybe a bit of both, go for a split push maybe to try to take out the players on the side of Throw Syndicate one by one. Although they do need to be careful of those a deployable shield being placed from the defenders, and also Heko, who's playing as the Goyo, placing his Vulcan shield, in which one of them is placed in towards the cafe double door, and also some particular place that I still don't know of yet, but we'll be able to find out when we'll get to know in the execution phase. Maybe one of them is placed into the side, but that is just a guess for now. But for now, we do see 3 players who are making their way in towards the cafe entrance with 2 drone works, Aliza and Barefoot's drones, in which one of them will be able to give them intel in towards the hallways of yellow stairs, and the other in towards the arcade hallway stairs as well. Heko, with an aggressive peek, sees the Ash, doesn't get the shot, but instead he'll deal some major damage to Electric, which would put them in a very tough spot though. But still, the attackers are still figuring out a way to try to get in. 4 players in towards Cafe. They still have the diffuser in hand. Not quite sure where the last player is. Yeah, actually, there is. Seth is currently in towards the cash room, who is slowly making his way, but was denied immediately from a bid. Oh boy, not looking too good here for Team Red Vipers.
Most certainly not in this situation. You even have Excalibur spells being denied. At least that's what the sound seemed to indicate. You have the Mira window from inside of Bunker, holding all the way through daycare towards Cafe. That is such a powerful hold that Red Vipers seem to be currently powerless against. It's not really looking good, as Kills is going to take one, but Heko gets taken out as a retaliation from Ali G. Good stuff right there. But Anaconda, he's low on HP too. Killsteal goes down to me, while Electric taking another one, but the ace will go down. Ali G to fall, and that's Adi on the stairs. The Jaeger takes the kill. More importantly, takes the diffuser. It's going to make things more and more difficult for the side of RV, as they now need to completely change up the direction they were headed towards. Anaconda trying to get a breach done towards initiation, at least get sight opened up. Electric coming down yellow stairs. Can he find the mute who took the kill just a second ago? A bid is still present, presumably, in this area, and he will be. Actually, that's the Jaeger who's present there, and he's going to take the kill. Adi takes that, right there, and Abid, the one I was talking about, will get the final kill as well. And Anaconda goes down, and Throws Syndicate take a 3rd round. A theme park, very defense-heavy as a map. But one would think that Red Vipers would try something else, would change things around. Unfortunately not. Even if they tried to go through, even when they tried to go through the arcade window on 2nd floor, that was contested. Heko didn't get a kill there, mind you. He only got a little bit of damage done to Electric. The Ash could have very well pushed through in that situation, but they stuck the Cafe push and kept getting taken out one by one. And that, unfortunately, highlights a fundamental problem of Red Vipers. They're not changing things around. They're not spreading out. They're not using all the resources that they have on hand. They're very much trying to do a sort of linear push, if you will, and getting taken out because of it time and time again. Throw Syndicate has simply punished them where they've gone wrong with their ideas, with their strategies, and now going back to 2nd floor bunk daycare, we're going to have the Mira in play once again. You can see Killsteal is going to put down that Mira window. excuse me, right there, facing into initiation from inside a site, the same hold for the most part that we got to see from the first round. And Red Viper surely should be reading into this, seeing, all right, we've got the same hold coming out from our defenders right here, and it went wrong in this aspect in that round. So let's try and change things up. Let's push from somewhere else. Let's try and play whatever little verticality there is on this map, and there is some verticality to be had in certain areas of Theme Park. Don't get me wrong. Theme Park is not a map that is known for its verticality for sure, but there are certain areas that can be played from below via Ash, via Zofia, via even the Jackal. If you're really, strapped for vertical options, Jackal secondary shotgun can come into play. You can get that meta window inside of the one we saw in the previous round that was inside of bunker facing into daycare. That one has a soft floor below it. I believe the barrels room directly below it has a soft ceiling, so you could have gotten that from there. So, but right now, we're going to have a ton of utility burn coming in from the Zofia to make sure that the ADSs inside of Cafe are burnt out, and the shield will be taken care of as well, while the hatch goes down on that vending machine part of the hallway. Cheesy Chimkin has fallen back all the way towards arcade stairs in the meanwhile, as the smoke will simply fall back, hold, and do what he can for his teammates, which isn't admittedly too much. He's used up one of his gas grenades, of course. Excuse me right there. Droned out, Zandaconda will take a bit of damage, not sure from which gunfight. Update in the meanwhile, very bravely peeking at that arcade window. The Ash is in that region, and Electric could get this kill, but now that we're approaching a minute 30 and more gas grenades are going out, Throw Syndicate are once again making this round more and more their own with each passing second. Well, not with that kill though.
Well, talking about that push though, Ali G taking out Adiyat, where in return of some of the players being taken down is going to be Abed and Heko taking out Seth and Electric. Oh boy, that's a really good shot there from Heko. UMP in hand taking out one more, a triple.
Well
right from the inverted and the C4 to finish it off, taking out Ali G. Throws Syndicate. Not stopping at all. Round 4, second floor, Punk and Daycare goes to them. And with it, we take a look at it in the instant replay. Round 5 will proceed. And talking about Red Vipers though, not quite sure what's happening. I mean, you do see 4 players pushing in towards Cafe. One of them is repelled in towards the windows of second floor Punk. What is actually happening here? Although we do see, the Zofia using the impacts to try to take out the deployable shield, we did see some heartbreaking capabilities coming in from the Ace, using the smoke grenade as a way to try to make sure that they wouldn't go for a denial of hard breach as from the White Stairs or from the arcade. But still, when that execute came in from the attackers, Ali G did get one, but after that they were nowhere to be seen. I mean, to be honest, it was just the Legion and the Mira doing all the heavy works, whereas Red Vipers are still struggling to even get a single win. Not quite sure what's happening there, and especially talking about the site on Armory and Throne Room, where it was on round 2. They did get the control of vertical lines of sight in around 1 or 1.5 minute or so, which did take a lot of time for Red Vipers to actually get in towards the site, which was in 30 seconds. And talking about it, the defenders, especially the Goyo, he did place his Vulcan shield and also his ADS to give a bit of a protection in towards the cash room. But still, we didn't get to see any players being taken out because Throw Syndicate decided, you know what, we did waste a lot of time. How about we just give the control to Red Vipers and we'll just make our last stand in towards first floor Throne Room. And it actually did work out well for them, with amidst some distractions and also some huge mistakes being made from Red Vipers. With this round, again being the same site of Armory and Throne Room, the drone works will come in, where Adi and Abed will be in towards second floor, whereas we hear the Vulcan shields being popped out. Yet again, we see 4 players, actually 5 of them, pushing in towards Cafe, where one of them did rappel in to try to make the inverted rappel window in towards Punk again. This time there won't be any difference when it comes to the attack pushes. We do see some droners to give them information. Unfortunately, they could not connect those information into kills. And with that, Red Vipers I'm quite sure what's going to happen here. 3 players in towards Cafe. Electric with the pre-fire. Doesn't get the shot in towards the Vigil. Sees the head. And still, Adi still survives. Again with the pre-fire. And also, they're just quickly getting in. They're just making sure that they would, get towards the site of office as soon as possible. And looking at it, Adi just decides to fall back, which is, in fact, a wise decision for him. And with it, Red Vipers will make their mark, opening up the hatches, getting control of the office, making lines of sight, and also giving them huge pressure, in which it will succeed from both Seth and Ali G, taking out Heko and Killsteel, which would give them the entirety control. Although Adi is still alive in towards second floor, he could go for a beautiful flank there. But he decides to be in the first floor instead, try to contest them when they open up the walls, either in the armory or in the throne room. Talking about a bit, he gets spotted from the drones as he might get hunted, and the attackers might choose their decision to try to take him out first before heading into the site.
However, that missed spray from the Vigil not gonna do him any favors as Ali's just gonna fall back off of that. The mute is very close to a gunfight, and his position has been given away as well. Ali G is swinging in. The callouts are coming, but Seth will be the first to fall, and the refract comes in from the Jackal. Good stuff from Red Vipers. They're holding. They're still not doing anything other than a linear push. I'll give them that. But Throw Syndicate has been a little jumpy this round. They've been a bit ahead of themselves, and unfortunately, that has forced them to pay the price. Cheesy Chimkin can't get the impact trick off, barely falls back in time, as it's a 2 versus 4. The Vigil is still above, still being tracked by the Jackal. The Legion gets one, but that's a 1v3 with the plant potentially coming off. Electric, he needs to be careful of the lines aside above him. He's gonna go for the plant. Can the Vigil see it in time? He sees one. Can he get the kill? Yes, he does. Can he get the planter? Yes, he does. Only 3 seconds to go. This could be the play. And Akonda barely sticks it, but will he be found? Adi, he needs to drop. He will. And it's an easy waltz back into sight. Throw Syndicate will take round 5 as Adi, the Vigil, who could not secure a couple of kills earlier when he should have, manages to take 3 and secure his team the round, making it 5-0, as I'm sure we will see in the replay right there. Second floor initiation and office will come out from the side of the defense. And that, ladies and gents, is yet another contender for play of the week. Let me tell you that. Adi, just about surviving on that second floor. The first confrontation he took on second floor towards the offices, fell back. And would you look at that, a wise decision that, unfortunately, Red Vipers could not act upon when they probably should have, now that I think about it, allowing the Vigil to get away right then and there. And that came back to bite them quite hard right towards the end. 5-0, a big score that Throw Syndicate have thrown together. Red Vipers, on the other hand, not looking good. Second floor push, while they took control of verticality, again, it was very much all or nothing, really. I believe all 4 operators, or all 5 actually, were coming through Cafe and the arcade window. And unfortunately, they were, it was a bit of a, I'm still not sure, really. Red Vipers' thinking has been very puzzling today, if I will, because it's just this idea that brute forcing through one particular area of the map would give them control and needed control continually. That seems to be their thinking here. I'm trying to rationalize it, if you will. It's worked when it comes to Armory Throne Room, but then again, Throw Syndicate's roam game wasn't exactly the best, especially in the 5th round. But back in round 2, when they went to Armory Throne, their play on that Yellow Stairs corridor, that's what saved them in that situation. And in that last round, of course, you had the 1v3 to make sure that Throw Syndicate's momentum, their lead has 0 blemishes. And Heko nearly found the head of the Zofia right there, rappelling just outside of Break Room. And the Goyo is going to just fall back. Yep, there you go. Wise decision. He knows that contesting that window won't win him any favors in this situation. Killsteel comes in. The call-out will be there that there's a Zofia rappelling outside of Break, and they need to be careful of the angles that those windows afford. But in the meanwhile, we've got 2 players of Red Vipers pushing in through office, through Cash Stash. trying to see if they can get a little bit of a widespread push coming in. Befra holding this angle, can't get the Mira quite yet, but a jump out from the other side from Adi, the man himself, is going to secure the first kill for the side of Throw Syndicate. Red Vipers losing Zofia in an unfortunate circumstance, as that is going to put them in a 4 versus 5. Heko takes a ton of damage, still alive. That's the big thing right now. The kill isn't confirmed yet. And Ali G, pushing up Arcade Corridor, is going to have to take this kill regardless of how long it takes him. But the problem is, if it takes too long, then Red Vipers will lose what little advantage they stand to gain from taking care of that Goyo.
Well, the smokes grenade will come in, but it's not going to work out. Adi gets one more. Chi Chimkins with a knife to take out Seth. With Anaconda gets only one kill, taking out a bit. Gets another one though. In a 1v3 situation, can he get the other? No, it does not. The shotgun from Chi Chimkins will claim the life of Anaconda. And with it, it's going to be a flawless first half win here for Team Throw Syndicate, 6-0 on map Theme Park. And that would conclude the first half, 0-6. And also match point for Team Throw Syndicate, as they'll be the one in attack. Well, the site for Team Red Vipers is going to be on Armory and Throne Room. I believe, I mean, according to what the pick is, the map pick, I believe Throw Syndicate were the one who made the decision to pick Theme Park, and Red Vipers, I believe at that specific time, they haven't practiced this map at all. Kind of feel like they haven't practiced it at all. The way how the attack coordination was from Team Red Vipers is that every single round you see, they were just pushing in towards Cafe. All 5 of them. I mean, all 5 of them pushing in towards Cafe. No pushes in Cache, although there was vertical lines of sight. When they try to push in towards First Mode Throne Room, which was on round 5, where you did get to witness the, the 1v3 from Vigil, not quite sure what exactly happened here. No information given from the teams where exactly they didn't even know where exactly Vigil's location was, even with the plan going on. The Jackal was mainly concerned about the White Stairs push. Not quite sure what happened to my nose there, but I'm sure I am back to where I was.
You know what that reminds me of, Baba. It's you remember about I think last week or so I had a problem with hiccups in the middle of the stream. Kind of reminds me of that, except yours is not nearly as frequent as mine was. I remember we were both busy just laughing.
Well,
quite a lot that day.
Well, to be honest, this wasn't a hiccup. I don't know what's wrong. Every single time I talk to it, it's just it just arrives out of nowhere. I just make some random, either a goat noises or a sheep noise out of nowhere. I have no idea where these kinds of words arrive. But still, yeah. Talking about Red Vipers though, I believe they were unprepared on map Theme Park. That's what my main guess is. And I believe this was Throw Syndicate's pick on this map, where they were the ones who picked Theme Park. Because every single match that we did cast on, it was mainly Clubhouse or on Oregon. And picking Theme Park is what Red Vipers did not expect it to see this. So, yeah, Anadi looks like he's prepped and prepared from the Gara hook. It's just he needs some information and also the go. And that go will be right about now. The push will be in towards Bunk, where the site is still on first floor Armory, where the entire defenders are still in towards the site. No players roaming in towards Armory or on, Initiation Room or on Office. No roamers, no Valkyrie. It's just normal attack, normal defenders though. The Mute, the Malusi, and also Ali G with the Pulse, the cardiac sensor in hand, who is in towards the site, prepped and ready with the C4 play. Looks like Seth is ready to do exactly that. He just needs one more heartbeat scanner right nearby towards that C4 to get that kill, but looks like he's denied from the concussive. Very interesting though. And that, I believe it was from that vertical line of sight. But still, Red Vipers really needs to be careful on what they're doing here.
Oh, most certainly. Red Vipers, that C4 play could have been it, but unfortunately, it won't be. Heko's grenade will be it, though. That's Barefoot taken care of. That's one of the C4s that we were afraid of, I believe. And Bandit off the board. That's going to put a big dent in this defense. As Seth is dancing around these vertical lines of sight. He's trying to stay alive, a little low on HP, while the push from the attackers is about to come in. You can feel it in the air around the site right now. Throw Syndicate is preparing for the push inside Electric. He's been made aware, so have Ali G, of the push from Dragon Door. And Cheesy Chinkins just going to drone himself in nice and quickly. The might just join him, the Amaru in this situation, but no, Seth's going to find one. That's a big kill indeed as the UMP fires off, but he will take some damage instead. Cheesy Chinkin needs to retrieve his drone. It's a very brave play right there, and he will do so. 30 seconds on the clock, 4 versus 4. It's not exactly looking too good per se for the side of Throw Syndicate. There's 2 people on Dragon Door right now. Heko has just joined as the Candelas are coming off from Ying. Kill Steal, he's trying to get in there. Will he be able to? Those smokes go off. There's a double LMG push, but Cheesy Chicken takes damage, and it's gonna be a bloodbath. Seth gets one, Adi gets another, Heko gets one more. It's in the 1v2. Where is Anaconda? He's hiding, shotgun in hand. Can he get one? Yes, he does, but the plant is going off. Does he know it? I don't think he does. He needs to go for it right now, and he will, but he only secures that kill that he already had. Anaconda, full on HP, SMG in hand against the G8 of the Amaru. Pre-fires come out, that's going to give away Adi's position in the situation. Anaconda's about to peek! And that's his triple kill clutch right there, and he has plenty of time to get the counter defuse done as well. Unfortunate right there from Throw Syndicate, as it was an all or nothing push from both the doors of sight. That is, of course, the Blue Split and Dragon Door. Unfortunately for them, didn't quite work out. And now that I actually look at it, there weren't any hard breachers in that situation as well. Throw Syndicate, interestingly enough, decided not to bring one, not even a secondary hard breach, and I'm not sure as to why. But that certainly hurt them in that situation. They could have gotten yellow breached. They had the vertical lines of sight. They had the control via the Zophia's concussive grenades, right there. But they decided not to. Red Vipers, merely turtle holding inside a side, are allowed to take a round. 1-6 is the scoreline, as they still need to go 5 straight rounds. That's right, Red Vipers need to still take 5 straight rounds to make this match into overtime. That's the only way they're winning this, the only chance they're going to get, and they need to play this round by round. And it all starts from this second round. They've taken one. They've established that they're not quite done with the game just yet. But Throw Syndicate, they'll be looking to finish this off as soon as possible. The ace has been brought in. A little change that arguably was needed in the previous round as well. But better late than never. At least there is a hard breacher and a rather versatile one, all things considered. Killshield bringing in that operator with the 8th round coming into play, as it is still 6-1. Red Vipers have quite the task ahead of them.
Well, to be honest, though, I do have to talk about the Ying's push there. I mean, first, he uses the Candelas right in towards the right side of the armory, where, in fact, it would have been better to just throw the smoke grenades first, then use Candelas, and then try to go for the push, try to eliminate one. Although it did work out. I'm not saying that he did it in the wrong way. It's just that there are multiple ways to go through this. The only problem is when you use the smoke grenade, the defenders are more likely to pre-fire at that specific moment. So basically going for a prone pick would also be advisable. The only problem was there was the Melusi's Banshee deterrent that would not only just slow them down, but also give them the location of where exactly that the push is. So with it, Throw Syndicate couldn't figure out a way to try to counter it, but this time the side being on bunk and daycare, maybe they might figure out a way, or maybe Red Vipers can turn back. I mean, try to change the tides, maybe figure out a way to try to eliminate Throw Syndicate style of attack one at a time. Talking about the attackers, though, we do see one of them which is right outside the windows of balcony, I believe. That's going to be Abed and Adi, who is making their way in towards Cafe, and Ali G will be the one holding in towards that specific location, though. MP5K in hands, sees the Ash's head, will be able to deal some major damage. Not too much, though. The problem is there, Ali G is succeeding in wasting quite a lot of time here. All he needs is to just wait a lot, but that nade though from Sledge gets caught from the magnet. which would deal some major damage here. The nade comes in, which does not work. It actually works as a distraction for Adi to get the kill, give them the control in towards Cafe. That is 2 grenades used from Sledge and also a body being dropped from Anaconda as he reclaims the control of Cafe. Pre-fires will come in to make sure that they'll be able to keep the attackers at bay. And looks like Red Vipers have got this situation under control here. Anaconda in a very risky positioning here, as meanwhile we see Electric being downed from a bed, I believe, right towards the second floor bunk. And looks like the attackers have decided to not push in towards Cafe. Looks like they'll just switch into another direction here, which is going to cost them quite a lot of time, knowing that they only have 45 seconds left to make their point. They're not going to push from Cafe, but instead they will push in towards the second floor daycare, in which the attackers already open up their wall, and with it, the execution phase from the attackers will be underway.
With the Electric down, I believe it's something of a realization for Throw Syndicate that maybe pushing into bunk is the better idea here. The problem is they need to sort of diversify that, make sure they're not all going through the same place, but unfortunately, it might be too little too late as Anaconda takes one onto Heko. A bit goes down, and so does Cheesy Chimkin, and it's all down to Killsteal, the man who had the diffuser not too long ago, and he will drop as well. The attempted shift of the attackers' push did not help them in the slightest right there. Red Vipers read into that far too easily. It was quite literally an open book as suddenly the push stopped while Electric being downed was their cue, sort of, the initial, excuse me right there, the initial giveaway that this push might just be changing directions. And a good read from Red Vipers allows them to continue fighting in this game. It's going to be that much, we're going to continue that much longer for this match as we're headed to second floor initiation room and office. The third side to be attempted by Red Vipers. And unfortunately, excuse me right there, Throw Syndicate, I have to say, you'd think that after the Wamai kill, they wouldn't be making any peaks that would allow, players like Anaconda to get a kill or two. Although I do have to commend Anaconda's peak out on, excuse me, right there, out on the arcade window was a pretty good one. Still, probably, looking back at it now, shouldn't have resulted in a kill or two, but it did. And after that, the control of Cafe was reclaimed, and it wasn't contested again. They tried to go through Cafe in a different way. Well, not quite Cafe, through office with the Nomad. The office vault into that little ledge area just above the yellow stairs, but that was taken care of as well. Multiple operators went down in that attempted push. The Red Vipers adapting very late as required against Throw Syndicate, changing things up very late as well. And now with 2 rounds defense under their belt, it could be very, very tight for Throw Syndicate. They just need 1 round, mind you. 1 single attacking round. It doesn't even have to be one that's super comfortable. They just need to win it. And they know this. They are very much aware of the situation that they found themselves in, and yet it's theme park. It's going to be difficult. Not only does being on match point, 1 round away from the victory, add that pressure of just finishing off the match, but also you're on attack on a defender-sided map. So you have to be on your toes, on your guard at all times, while the defenders can afford to make mistakes. They can afford to have a few blemishes in their defense here and there. That's what a defender-sided map means, that defenders will retain a sort of home turf advantage, if you will, while attackers have to work to usurp that advantage. Unfortunately, Throw Syndicate haven't quite been able to do that. While the drones will come out and spot the Vulcan shield outside of Cafe, you still have Anaconda to deal with. The Jaeger is doing work, but the Goya has come close as well. I don't think Heko knows that, and he's going to drone himself in if he wants to survive this encounter. Grenade goes out, but the C4 will come in. Will that claim anything? No. Heko just about gets away, and he will be requesting backup something fierce right now. Second grenade, but Seth is more than safe. He'll get that kill while Adi found Anaconda. Minute 30 on the clock. And Red Vipers, while they've lost Anaconda, they still have Seth out here doing work. That's the big thing right now. The Goyo is still alive. Adi, does he know this? He should. He's going to peek, sees the Goyo. Can he get the head? Not quite. Whiffs quite a few shots, but the Goyo will be taken care of. A bit takes the kill. Minute 18 on the clock. 4 versus 3. Throw Syndicate look good, but can they? Oh, they might just take this round.
That was a beautiful wall bang there from Ash, taking out Bearfur as they are slowly making their way in towards the site where Ali G and Electric are holding their sides side by side. And looks like the attackers, especially the Ash, who will use the Ash breaching charges to take out some of the important utilities of the defenders. It would be that deployable shield. Looks like they have 40 seconds for the attackers to make their move, and also the attackers in which the Nomad was about to place the air jabs will also claim the life of Ali G and also kill Seal to get the final kill, taking out Electric. And with it, Throw Syndicate will won't have any problems dealing with the next round because they did win second floor initiation room and office, and with it they will win it. They will win it in a really good style. There, 7-2. Map Theme Park goes to the side of Throw Syndicate, and also not a good day going in for Red Vipers though, because they will lose yet another match in today's stream as well. 12 kills to Adi and 8 kills to Anaconda. With a do boy, looks like Red Vipers definitely not having a good day at all. Don't you agree, Jack?
Oh, most certainly. I do have to say, Throw Syndicate, a great day for them, but Red Vipers, ooh boy, back to back 2-7s. It's not going to look too good on their record going forward from here for the division table, if you will. But of course, we're going to have a lot more to talk about in this match where Red Vipers went wrong and where on the defense they could have done things right. They did, in fact, for 2 rounds. They looked pretty good, all things considered, but then that third round of defense, they just seemed to collapse. And we're going to, talk about that in Relive the Moment right now. In fact, starting off with the very first round, as we saw this before we had to go into an unfortunately lengthy rehost, but regardless, it was a sign of things to come from Throw Syndicate. They were patient, they knew what they needed to do, the roamers did whatever job they required, and really on second floor, all things considered, Throw Syndicate's defense mostly relied on lurkers and an extended hold out from site in a direction that is usually very expected of the attackers. They kept doing that. Armory Throne Room on first floor definitely was, one could say their weakest site in this situation. And that definitely did not help them in this match, if you will, because they kept getting taken out. And while the Romans did their job, especially in round 5, the clutch, I believe this is the round. Yes, it is Adi. Oh boy, he really had to pull it off for himself and his team right there. There was, I'm sure there was a ton of pressure for this man right here, but he came in, took the kill, and walked away with the 5th round going 5-0 for Throw Syndicate. It's just down to those things, While Throw Syndicate certainly didn't have the best of times on that first floor site, every other site, what were they doing correctly? They were watching each other's backs. They knew the attackers only had certain avenues to come from, and the unfortunate thing was Red Vipers weren't doing enough. Even when they did a spread out push, they didn't read into what the defenders were bringing in. And as soon as they didn't do that, they started getting taken out. Back-to-back rounds. That's what happened. You need to read into what your opponent is doing. That's where intel comes in. That's where utility clearance and making sure that if a roamer is tagged up, he is dead. And unfortunately, that was not the case for this game multiple times, where it really should have been Red Vipers taking the lead. They had the first kill, they had the first instance of map control, they had the first instance of advantage, momentum, you name it. They took those first instances and did practically nothing with them in multiple rounds. And I have to say, after a couple rounds of solid defense, Red Vipers really went back to that sort of peak everything mentality, if you will. And I say peak everything mentality not in a joking manner, ladies and gentlemen. They really did just peak everything. Anything that Red Vipers, Throw Syndicate's attack was bringing out, Red Vipers on the defense were peeking it. They wanted to peek anybody throwing grenades, anybody throwing, utility. They wanted to peek that. They wanted to peek doors and over peek and swing wide on practically everything. And they kept getting taken out again and again and again. That was a big issue, a big no-no, if you will, if I'm allowed to say it that way, of course. But yeah, all things considered, they will definitely need to change things around in this match. Well, not this match, of course, in their following matches, Red Vipers, if they want to have a chance of merely staying in Division 2. This is something that Baba touched on when we were just going into that lengthy little rehost that we had, which was that, Red Vipers on the excuse me, I had to take a bit of a pause. Red Vipers need to work on these things, and if they don't, they'll get relegated to Div 3. If they don't want to get relegated to Div 3, they'll have to have a fantastic third and final week of Season 4. If they don't, and if they are not able to put any more points on the board than what they have right now, as we will see in the leaderboard going live on your screens for Division 2, Red Vipers, after this loss, have been pushed down to 8th spot. Throw Syndicate are now that much closer to, at the very least, securing themselves a spot to stay in Division 2. That is a big game for Throw Syndicate, more so than it is a huge loss for Red Vipers. RVZ going down to Div 3 will certainly be a massive hit to the team, but Throw Syndicate staying in Div 2 will also be a big morale boost. It's sort of a mini comeback, if you will. Not quite a huge, everybody love to see it type of comeback into promotion. Not quite there, but even then, it's a comeback for them as a team. It will be a huge morale boost and something to talk about for the days to come, at the very least in Season 5, whenever we ultimately see them next. Speaking of Season 5, ladies and gents, the registrations for the qualifiers of Season 5 are live. Head on over to the Esports Club for the registrations for both solos and teams and have a chance of finding yourself here in the WD Black Esports Club League Pro League for Rainbow Six Siege. And we'll see you there, maybe even in Div 3. But with all that being said, ladies and gents, before we go all into Season 5 territory, we're going to have one final game for the night, and that is Vanquish Paradox Gaming versus Team Live to Kill, which will be going live on your screens in just a short minute after this short break. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft here with your hosts Blackjack and Babagusta and our match admin Foxy, as we are here for the final game of Division 2 in the second week of the Pro League in Season 4, I should add. It's been a while since we changed up any of the number patterns we usually say in the introductions, but I will digress. It's always the same thing at the end of the day, kind of, yet not at the same time, if you will. But of course, enough about the roundabout comments about the way we do our intros here. Let's hop right into the little pre-match look into the table that we're going to have for this match right now. The leaderboards of the division right now. VPG currently very heavily in the lead. Not only do they have 12 points on board, they also have a 23 positive round conversion ratio. You know what that means? Even if L2K beat them in this game, there isn't much of a chance that they will overtake VPG's position. That is how huge this lead of Vanquish Paradox is. L2K on second place in the meanwhile, 9 points and 15 to them. They've got a fairly lengthy lead over ESN Super and Dauntless at the same time. So, you know, the board is sort of already starting to clear out in who's going to go ahead, who's going to not, and who will stay back and who gets relegated. But it still can be slightly hard to call. Surprise performances aren't exactly uncommon, as both of these players on screen will tell you, Nostalgia and Mellow. Interestingly enough, they both used to play for VPG at one point, but now Mellow has shifted to Live to Kill. And this season has been pretty good to him so far, but it can be better. Same for Nostalgia. 25 versus 21 kills, both of them will be looking to outdo the other's team and the other themselves, as we will join the players in the map of Theme Park. That is right, it's a double Theme Park day. Not sure where the sun rose from, probably from the west today, as the old saying goes. But we are in the ban phase right now. Thatcher and Nomad have been banned already. A little bit different from what we saw in the previous game. No Maverick bans today. Live to Kill have taken care of Nomad. They don't want to deal with the air jabs at all. And they have the first defender ban of the map as well. And it's going to be nice and quickly Kaid, regardless of the Maverick ban. So it looks like in this case, VPG banning Thatcher has resulted in the Kaid ban coming in, and some memes are flowing in the all chat. You'll love to see them, you know, a bit of in-between banter between the two teams. It's always nice to see them having a fun time. You know, competitive Siege can get a little bit too serious. You know, teams can tend to take themselves and their matches just a bit too seriously at times. So a little bit of lighthearted banter is always welcome. That's what we try to achieve here at the Esports Club with our casting as well. So we do hope that our viewers enjoy this broadcast that we're bringing to you live from this beautifully reworked map of Theme Park. Still very defender-sided, but at the very least, it's nothing like old Theme Park. I'm sure that brings up some bad memories. But let's get into round one nice and quickly. But before we do, let's have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Live to Kill, we've got JV, Killswitch, Blank, Mellow, and Fatals. And from the side of VPG, we've got your average R6 player, Shrisha, Nostalgia, Kurosaki, Exter, and Dope Pro. Professional Armory and Throne Room will be the side of choice. And I've kept the man for the mic long enough, Baba. A very interesting match we've got on hand, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, Jack. And talking about the match in hand, we have L2K who is in second place, whereas VPG are in first. And even though even if L2K did win, Vanquish Paradox will still be in the first position, but there is a higher chances where L2K might get to the first position unless if they do not win this match, which would be VPG. So for both of them, their positioning is on the line. And for now, it's just going to be a battle of who's going to be in the top. Is it going to be VPG or is it going to be L2K? We're about to find out in the first round, with the site being in first floor armory and throne room. We're going to be seeing L2K on attack, whereas VPG will be on defense. And also, quite an interesting operator specs from VPG. Extra as the Vigil is already prepped and ready with the spawn peak right at the window. He's waiting for the attackers to spawn in towards main entrance, but unfortunately, it is black. Because, I mean, blank means Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna go with that joke. But
I
it wasn't
was
that
gonna
good.
say,
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
attempt.
Yeah.
I did see what you were going for, but I didn't
Yeah. Yeah.
quite land it right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say empty, but I don't know why Blank appeared out of nowhere. But you know, talking about Blank though, he'll be spawned in towards the bumper cars with the rest of their team, with the other three players. And Exter is prepped and ready, although he did not expect to see that shot from this Zofia. And with his Exter almost dodging the bullets of the Ash's R4C, he will try to contest, but no, he's going to fall back and try to contest into his maintenance room. No, he does not. He doesn't want to contest. And he just want to change positions over and over again. He just wants to challenge the attackers, in which Kill Steal will win one, taking on Nostalgia. And oh boy, that is a good shot coming in from Exter, taking one, but an instant refrag will come in from the ace as JV comes in towards the maintenance room. And with it, it is going to be a 4v3. Make that 4v2 as Milo gets one more, taking out Kurosaki. And with it, Shrisha and Dopo, both of those players who are currently in towards the site, needs to figure out a way to at least eliminate 2 or 3 players or waste a lot of time to make sure that they wouldn't get access in towards the particular site, which should be on Armory and Throne Room. C4 will come in from Dope. Will it work out? No, it does not. The utility has been done and dusted from VPG, and another C4 comes in from Shrisha. Just waiting for the soft breach to happen, but unfortunately he was at a different position. And with it, L2K have the soft breach under control. They have good amount of time though. 1 minute left for the attackers to make their play. And now they're slowly pushing in towards this side, but Shrisha has got it covered, taking out Melo, eliminating the vertical line of sight. But they need to worry about the push, which L2K are thinking about it right now.
Oh, they most certainly are. Dragon Door sees a few shots, but Shrisha has been spotted. Pings are giving away his position, I think, and the Zofia will take the kill happily. Blank finishing off the mute, leaving Dope Hope, the last man standing. The Mozzie peeking out towards this 90 hallway right now. I think that attacker drone is not active, but the Zofia is. Came around and nearly took his head off. Does a bit of damage right there, as Blank will be the one to take the kill nice and quickly. Dope Hope to fall and live to kill will take round 1. A good round for the side of the attacking team to start off on, I have to say, as a here and a second floor emphasis, if you will. The presence on second floor was definitely up to par. Not so much for VPG. Exter definitely took that first kill with gusto, but trying to fall back to preserve his own life for later in the round, saw him get refragged by the ace coming out from maintenance. And that unfortunately allowed Lift to Kill to re-establish and equalize man count and quickly find another couple of kills to make the round their own. Shrisha did try to fire back with the vertical angle being used against Melo right there, but unfortunately it was the only kill he could find in that situation, and the 3 versus 2 did not work out in favor of, well, the 2 versus 3, excuse me, did not work out in favor of Vanquish. Paradox Lift to Kill taking the first round as we move into round 2 once again on Armory and a Throne Room, and a very different start to the previous game that we had once again on Theme Park. I bring that up because it's a point of contrast. I think we looking at it now is gonna be gonna make for some interesting little results, interesting little conclusions to be drawn about teams at the top and at the bottom of Division 2 table, primarily off of this very first round that we had, right? The attackers' drone clear was good. Their intel presence was good. They had drones to back up their pushes and to convert information into kills from. And more than that, they were able to take multiple rounds back to back, well, multiple kills, back to back, off of that very little facet. Information, intel is king in Rainbow Six. It's a thing that sometimes gets overlooked by teams who are somewhat new or somewhat inexperienced, trying to get into the big leagues, if you will. Never underestimate the power of good intel and callouts. Absolutely never. And that is going to make the difference of attackers taking a round in a defender-centered map and defenders dominating on a map like Theme Park. But of course, we'll draw a few more parallels or differences, I guess, in this match and the previous one a little later. Blank, in the meanwhile, pre-firing through the bathroom window. Not going to find Kurosaki just yet. Kurosaki, however, could not get any damage done to the man either. More shots are being fired. That's from the Zofia. Blank, he's still trying to get the kill. No. Knows excuse me right there, that the visual isn't quite there for the taking, but Fatal's coming up has been spotted. The default cam is still there. I'm not sure how L2K missed that, and he's gonna have to be very careful. The vigil's moved into bathroom and will take a kill, Kurosaki, but he tries to fall back and gets caught by Fatals in the hallway. That's not exactly the best play, if you will, but extra, that's a beautiful long shot onto Mello, taking that first kill, making sure that his presence is known and feared. Sees the Ash, can't quite get the kill as the Ash is busy peeking a different angle entirely. Shots are now fired. Who will find who? With a minute 20 remaining, they're both hunting for this kill. Less so for Fatals right now, but he will push up and get the kill finally. Man count is equalized. Minute 13 on the clock. They're wary of any other roamers potentially out there. And there may yet be a lurker or two just outside of sight. Yes, there is somebody, and that somebody seems to be the Mozzie Dopo, out by Lab and Storage. He could be the one to make a play right now. 50 seconds on the clock, live to kill. Need to speed things up.
Well, Fatals will evidently do so, using the Hard Breach to try to make vertical lines of sight. As I recall from previous, it was Sledge who did lost that gunfight against Risha, and looks like Nostalgia will do it yet again, taking out Fatals as the walls will open right in towards the yellow stairs wall. Now, this would alert Dope, which would let him go in towards the bathroom and try to flank out the player who is in yellow stairs. That would be the ace, though. 2v3 situation here, whereas JV will be able to find the head of Bandit and also claims it, making it 2v2. And looks like Mozzie is underway, pushing in towards the hallway, sees the ace, gets the kill, and also the confirmation of the diffuser being in towards the yellow stage. It all goes down to kill switch in a 1v2 situation, and he doesn't have enough amount of time. Sees one but cannot get the kill. It's going to be Shrisha with the MP5K claiming the final kill of L2K, taking out kill switch, and with it, VPG will also be the one winning their first round of defense in first floor armory and throne room. With that, we will proceed to round 3. The site for VPG will either be on initiation room or bunk and daycare, and they will decide to pick bunk and daycare indeed. And as I recall from the previous season, I still remember Team L2K had a different username back then, and to get their back to their original username, they had to wait for a month. I believe their previous names used to be like for blank it used to be Thadia, Fatals was Petals was Fatals, JB had the name called Ottawa, you had Nos who named him as Pushpay, and then in the end, Mello had a name called as Watermelon.
It was certainly a very interesting time for Live to Kill, I do have to say.
Yeah, I mean, for now, we do see L2K getting back in form as well, and so does VPG, though. Very excited to see both of these players heading into Division 1, where they have to go against the best of the best. And talking about Division 2, and also we know that it is always a bloodbath. Most of the time, we do expect a, overtime match points. Unfortunately, it could not in the recent 2 matches, where it went 7-2, 7-2, where VPG won against Red Vipers on map coastline, and Throw Syndicate won against Red Vipers 7-2. So on those 2 matches, Red Vipers, oh boy, it's not looking too good for them though. But for L2K and VPG, this is a lifetime moment for them to figure out who's going to be on the top of the leaderboards. Although L2K still has a chance where they still have to win at least 1 or 2 more matches to get into the first position. But if they do win against VPG, that would give them, much more of an advantage in the tournament standings, which would give them the higher possibility of winning in the next match. We might be able to encounter L2K going up against the other teams. But for now, the Dronox will come in to give them information towards maintenance and Gong Room. And with it, VPG and are prepped and ready with their defenses, though. Nostalgia will be the one playing as the bandit. You have those bandit charges to deny those hard breaching pushes, the hard breaching capabilities coming in from the attackers. Looks like Dope Pope though, not quite sure where exactly that shot arrived. Maybe it was from the T5 SMG of Legion. Maybe, maybe not. Or maybe it was just Blank who just decides to, shoot at a bullet, and he did shot at Dope Pope's arm, which would explain the amount of damage that it did. But for now, Blank is making his way in towards the office. He will need to be careful on that hole. It was the defenders already made. Sees the head and easily claims the head. Blank with the first kill, taking out Kurosaki. And with it, the drone and also the mute jammers will be taken out. you know, just blank things.
Just blank things indeed. Tried to do a little bit of a preemptive mute jammer, take right there. Unfortunately, he also took his own teammates down. That's gonna hurt the drone economy of Live to Kill ever so slightly. But Dope Up, I believe his position is given away. Yes, it is. So the Mozzie will fall back further down yellow stairs. But there's an Ash right below. Can he get him? No, he can't. Missing so many shots, fatals, dipping and dodging. But mind you, he himself has taken a ton of bullets and a ton of damage onto himself. That's going to make things a whole lot more harder for that man right there. But regardless, knowing fatals, it's not going to bother him too much. He will hold back just a little bit, but it won't bother him too much in this situation. In the meanwhile, Nostalgia trying to go for a long peek all the way towards office. Can he get one? No, he can't. Just the pre-fire is enough to warn the attackers that there's somebody there, but Killswitch will find one more. That's Risha gone. And now VPG on the back foot. The Jaeger takes one extra, but he has to watch another angle, and he won't. He's going to get taken out through initiation as well, and Nasa finds one, and now it's all onto him. 1v3. Make that a nothing v3. Killswitch will come in, take the kill, and finish off the final defender. Vanquish Paradox, unfortunately, once again, losing on gunfights and positioning in this situation. Not a good way to start off on the defense, I have to say, but L2K's attack has been good so far. 2 rounds already, making sure that we all know that this team is here to play. And play they are in this map. They're definitely doing some work, as we're going to be heading to second floor bunk and daycare once again from the side of Live to Kill. From the side of VPG on the defense right there. It's still a little hungover of the blue team defense from the last match, but regardless, with us going into bunk daycare, I do have to say VPG attempting this site once again will mean that they need to change things around for themselves and for their defense in this match. If they don't, if they attempt the same thing over and over again, well, they're obviously going to be caught out. You cannot be repetitive, and VPG knows this just as much as Live to Kill knows this. So I'm going to be looking forward to this 4th round to see what both sides are going to bring out. They're sort of they're sort of taking their time to read what their opponents are doing, with both sides coming out with plenty of intel and or intel denial, sound cues, visual cues. It's all there, and they're starting off on what might seem like a standard push, but then they realize, all right, this is where we need to emphasize. This is where we need to, this area might not be the best for us. We might be able to go through office better than we go through initiation, at least in the early round. So let's do that, get a kill or two, make sure that they're sort of focused on the northern end of the map so that we can take the southern part, establish a cross angle, get in there, get the kills. Live to Kill did that very well, and Van Paradox, unfortunately, couldn't quite get acclimated to that push, if you will, because they had just a few too many angles to worry about. Especially once Dope Pope went down on yellow stairs, that was a point where Live to Kill really started tightening their grip on the round. And unfortunately, no matter how hard VPG fought back, they could not loosen it, and that's why we are here in this round situation. Now we have, once again, a cash stash push coming in from the side of L2K's attackers. I believe that's Fatals and Blank in that situation. Once again, just doing what they do, but Dope Up establishing bullet hole angles right now is going to be a big contender for office control, and that's going to be something to mark for the side of Live to Kill. They need to make sure that they take him out. Dope Up is a very strong player and one to be feared in more than one instance. Will the bullet hole peak be found? No. JV's drone gets blocked instead. As the Mirror Jammer comes in, will it be found? Not quite. I believe that was a Gershma thrown in by the Sophia right there. And an Ash breaching charge comes in to try and make some vertical lines of sight. But still, nothing is quite working. They can't quite get themselves through into office as effectively as they did the last time. And with a minute 15 on hand, that might come back to haunt them later in the round.
Well, talking about Haunt, Dope Pope is still in towards that yellow stairs, who just want to try to contest the players who are pushing in. The C4 will not work out for the defenders, which would proceed. Kill switch to use his nade and also smoke grenade to try to deny the ADSs. A nade comes in, but looks like Dope will be able to finally take out Blank right in towards the office's entrance. And Mello trying to make sure on which angle that Mozzie was. He'll be able to see the hole and also give them the confirmation that he is in towards yellow stairs, and whether the Ace Selma breach charges will use to open up walls in towards bunk. Now kill switch. Just to be careful on those angles where we do see 3 players on the side of L2K still having a lot of problems dealing with, because the summer breach charge is only made line of sight, in which it did work out well for the attackers here. JV taking out Nostalgia and Fadals with the R4C taking out Dope Pope. And looks like in the side there's still 3 more players there. Kurosaki still in towards yellow stairs. The attackers need to make a move in which they will evidently do that. SMG11 failing a lot of shots here, in which the attackers need to make a play. Shrisha gets one. That's going to be taking out JV. Exter will be able to find one, not guess the other, but no one is in the plant, in which VPG will succeed on that. Winning round 4, Bunk and Daycare. All they had to do was to waste a lot of time, even with L2K's final push in towards that double door, in which they did succeed getting quite a lot of kills and forcing them to be in towards that hallway. And also huge props to the Bandit, making sure that they would not get access via the Selma breach charges. It was one part of the Selma breach charges was opened, in which they did had an angle, but they could not enter in towards the side from that breached wall. They were forced to push in towards that double doors, in which VPG did succeed on that round. Well played from VPG, and also well played to Nostalgia with the Bandit placements. And with it, they will decide to go into first floor armory and throne room. Interesting 6 pick, where we'll be able to see the Vamai getting taken out and bringing in the Capcan, the EDDs in place, and also a lot of problems for L2K if they could not, if they're not attentive with those EDDs placements. With it, 2-2 will be the scoreline round 5, and with it, we have a prediction that it might go 3-3 in round 6. Who knows? Maybe L2K might be able to put it on 4-2, but the way how VPG is playing for the past 2 matches, I believe they can put this match, or I would say they have the highest possibility to defeat L2K. Well, we're about to find out in the second half itself, and determine whether VPG is excellent on attack. But for now, their defense is obsolete. They've been performing extremely well. And with it, let's see if they can at least put them in the lead in the first half. Try to put it at least in a 4-2. 4-2 is viable for VPG. If that happens, though, in second half, they will be much more powerful when they are in attack. With that, round 5 action phase will commence as Fatals and the other players will spawn in towards the main entrance. I do apologize yet again. The Maverick and the Sledge, in which they will push in towards Bumper Room. And also, I believe they will make their way in towards the Throne Room. Although the vertical lines of sight has to arrive, in which VPG, especially from Nostalgia, and I believe it was from Shrisha as well, who did win that 1v1 vertical lines of sight gunfight in towards the office. If it does happen for the 3rd time, VPG might have a chance to win this round here. The Drone Wars will come in yet again to give them the confirmation to see whether if there is any particular rumors, and it will exter in towards Initiation Room, in which he will be tagged towards the Drone Works. And I believe the attackers is trying to figure out a way to try to take out Exter, though, because if he is still in towards the Dragon Stairs, it will be much more of a problem to even try to contest VPG at that line of sight. Although the Maverick will try to do his work to try to open up the left side of it. The C4 will come in. Blank will be dealt with some major damage, starting off with the C4 and also an impact nade. So you use the grenade, a beautiful toss grenade, which will take out the bandit charges and will proceed to use the summer beach charges to make line of sight. With it, the maintenance wall is opened, but not on yellow stairs, though, which L2K have firmly decided that they will push in towards first floor armory. Actually,
well, regardless, it is sight, but Dopo has something to say about that. Kill switch to go down. That's your Zofia off the board. While they still are trying to go for this breach blank that is on towards the barrels wall. I'm not sure if that's advisable, but JV will find one. That is Shrisha off the board. Good kill. Mello trying to fall in towards sight. Will he see one? Yes, he does. Takes a bit of damage, but he's not deterred from that peak. That is the thing that matters right now. He's still trying to get that kill. Can can't quite. I believe that could either be Kurosaki or Nostalgia all the way towards all the way towards the armory section, but Fails will still find a kill, and a big one. That's Dope Up off the board, once again putting the man count in their favor. Time, though, time, just like the last round, is not going to be their friend. Kurosaki taking out JV is going to make things a whole lot more harder, even though the diffuser has been recovered. Nostalgia fell back at just the wrong time. Now it's a 3 versus 2, make that 3v1. The Capcan falls, but there's a down onto Mello, but it doesn't matter. It's Fatals, all in sight, all over the vanquished Paradox defensive team, as L2K will take first for Armory Throne Room after a good play indeed. That's going to put them 3-2 up, and not again. What is this, the 6th, 7th time now?
No, to be honest, I believe it was the 4th or 5th time this has been happening. I mean, it happens. But for now, talking about that round though, the first for Armory and Throne, in which VPG did try to defend, and also L2K, a very surprising push though, because the way how both of those sites where we did get to see the attackers though from L2K in the first round, they decided to use the vertical lines of sight to try to eliminate players in towards Armory. They decided to push in towards a yellow wall, but looks like it's not going to work out as well. And talking about the match, though, you don't have to worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to take around like 3 or 4 seconds to reconnect back into the game. So do not worry about it. We'll be able to come back into the game as soon as possible. So talking about the round, where we did get to see round 5, where L2K were pushing in towards Armory and Throne Room, and there you have it. We have there you go. We actually found get the match instantly without having any problems, and with it, the site will be yet again on Armory and Throne Room for VPG to defend. And yeah, since like, I just cannot believe I've been blocked like 2 to 3 times, but I'm just trying to go. I'm just going to say this as best as possible here. The way how L2K pushed, but was not on yellow stairs though. They decided to push in towards maintenance room, and it did worked out well. Pushing in from the hallways of Armory and Throne Room hallway altogether, it did work out well for Fatals to eliminate players one by one. Boxing them in towards the Armory room did give them the win. The only problem is, will they do the same thing yet again? We're about to find out though, because the site being Armory and Throne Room for VPG, there is a higher chances where L2K might go 4-2, unless and until VPG has figured out the way to eliminate players. And a little bit of banters on the all chat there. How the siege is custom
I mean,
match works. So, yeah.
Making light of this situation, certainly. I mean, it is definitely a weird thing that keeps happening. I'm not sure as to why, but regardless, a little bit of lighthearted banter. We talked about this in the pre-match lobby, just having a little bit of fun, taking away from the seriousness of the match and all the teams trying to get their victories and whatnot. It is definitely important. Don't get me wrong. Wins and points and all of that is definitely something that both teams have at the forefront of their minds. However, you don't want to take it too seriously. You don't want to just sap all the fun out of it by being ultra serious all the time. You don't exactly get anywhere by doing that either. You want to make sure that you're having fun. Unfortunately, Dope will not be. That's our first kill right there, and that's Fatal's already inside of lab storage right there. That's a little sad for the Mozzie right there, Dope. He's been doing some good work influencing round after round for his team, but Fatals has shut him down early this time. That's a bit of a targeted play, I believe, from Lift to Kill. They knew that the Mozzie would be somewhere around first floor, and taking him out early was a good choice. Again, the longer Dope stays active in a round, the less likely that particular region is going to fall. For being taken by the attackers. That's what I meant to say right there. Excuse me. But point notwithstanding, Capcan traps all over the place. They're going to have to be careful as can be. The attackers, they don't want to go through one and lose just a little over half their HP, which is certainly going to make things a whole lot more difficult. But they're trying to go for that maintenance breach once again. Will Nostalgia be allowed to bandit trick this time? I don't think so. He's not even there, actually. Looking at it, it's Exter and Shrisha who are in that region, trying to impact trick away, but a summer breach will come through. Kind of. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. It took out the canister underneath, but not the strip that was already being broken. And that's opened up a line of sight. And this reminds me of what happened a couple rounds ago on second floor bunk daycare, where the attackers were trying to push through initiation. What happened right there? There was a Selma breach strip that was only open because of bandits' interferences, and that didn't allow the attackers to get into sight. That's what they needed in that situation, to get into sight. As soon as they were not allowed to do that, the round was VPGs. That's happened already. But there's another breach coming in from the barrels wall. It seems like that's going to go through all the way. So line of sight and an entryway have been made. They now need to capitalize off of this with 45 seconds on the clock. Not too long left as Shrisha barely dodges getting taken out right there. And it's about to come all in. Nostalgia trying to peek vertical once again. It's the Ash up there. That's Fatal's doing work, kind of. At the same time, not finding a defender, even though he wants to. Plenty of vertical lines of sight that he has to emphasize on, and plenty of areas he has to watch out for. He might even consider dropping the split hash as Blank will find Shrish, and the meanwhile Extra finds JV. It's going to be a bloodbath with less than 20 seconds remaining. 4 versus 3. And oh boy, the defenders may not have the man advantage, but they will now. Extra with the double, but Nostalgia gets taken out, and meanwhile Extra comes back to fire, and now it's all down to Blank. And Kurosaki will finish him off. Extra with the play of the round right there. Triple for him, finishing off multiple attackers at the same time. And like I said, without having that other breach done all the way, the side of Live to Kill seemed to not be able to fall in to sight as comfortably as they wanted to. As soon as the first few bodies started getting dropped, you saw the attackers fall in line and fall and fail the round. 3-3 is the scoreline going into round 7 as we are now on the other side of roll swap. And Baba's prediction has come true, ladies and gents. It's a big day indeed, as now Live to Kill are on the defense, and they have to try and weather the storm that's coming. That is Vanquish Paradox's attack.
Oh boy, 3-3. And yeah, just as I was talking about the Armory and Throne Room, they did succeed in wasting quite a lot of time, which forced L2K to push in towards the site. Unfortunately, couldn't win that gunfight against, I believe that was Exter, the man who was making quite a lot of plays there. Triple kill in his name, though, in the previous round. 3-3. And with the second half will come in, this is where we'll get to test on how good L2K's defense are and also how good VPG's attack is in second half, because most of the most of the matches that we did get to see, it's always more of like 3-3 in the first half, and then suddenly the defenders would win it out, try to win it out in a 7-3, or even if L2K did do win a bit of, actually, if Vanquish Paradox wins at least 1 or 2 attack rounds, there is a higher chances for going overtime. It's just more of like a prediction thing where I try to understand what's going on. So talking about it, if L2K did succeed winning the Throne Room as well as Bunk and Daycare, there is a higher chances where they might be able to defeat VPG on a 7-3. But for now, we're about to check whether VPG's attack phase is better on the map of Theme Park, and also the same can be said to L2K. Dronauts will come in which they will be able to get some information towards Gong Room, maintenance, and also the hallways in towards the lockers. And interesting placements of Mute Jammer, though, believe in which the Mute Jammer is way behind the walls, which would give a bit of a difficulties with the line of sight. For a moment there, I actually heard the C4 being denied with the bullet. The nades will come in, which would force kill switch to fall back, but that C4 will win, though, taking out Nostalgia as JV gets his first frag with the help of C4. And also an important kill, though. The ace won't be available. The nade, ooh, so close, but yet so far. Killswitch will decide to use the bandit charges yet again. Looks like the defenders have no idea that they've eliminated Nostalgia, where they only have to worry about the Maverick, in which Risha will still do his work to try to open it up, but still must be careful of that line of sight which he made through that breaching torch. A lot of problems here for VPG as they've lost their hard breach player. It would have been better just open it up in towards yellow stairs. The way how aggressive L2K is playing right now, they're not even letting VPG open up a single wall. And looks like Blank will be able to take that opportunity, taking out Popop this time, putting it 5v3, make that 5v2 through the breaching torch hole, where Fatals will be able to claim one and gets the other. Fatals with the second kill, taking out Exter. This roll goes down to Kurosaki, sees the GSG9 operator IQ, which will fall back into his maintenance room. And also with it, VPG will be the one facing a lot of problems here. Kurosaki will push him back towards Gong Room, and also a pre-fire from Fatals as he's just, quick picking yet and yet again. Whips out the pistol, can he get the shot? No, it does not. Kurosaki, the one to win that gunfight, putting it in a 3v1 as L2K needs to just hold though, because for VPG they only have 20 seconds left to go for that push. It is a 1v3 after all, and with it, I believe there's no way that Kurosaki will be able to win. Or is it though? Triple kill to Kurosaki, taking out JV. We still need to worry about two players in which they don't have enough amount of time, and with it, kill steal with the MP7 will claim the life of Kurosaki as L2K will win round 7, Armory and Throne Room. With it, the next site for L2K for defend would be on Bunk and Daycare, or maybe just going for Initiation and Office. Looks like L2K will decide to go on Bunk and Daycare, although I'm kind of curious to know if L2K did win this round, whether are they going to pick on Initiation Room or will they go for Drug Lab? Because the way how theme park meta is going on right now, there is a higher chances where this the first floor site of Drug Lab might be in use for the defenders. Maybe L2K might go for it, although in order to do that they have to win second floor Bunk in order to see what their site is. All in all, a good performance from L2K and also from VPG's attack. They need to have to worry about it, because the way how they did get that early kill where the hard breacher got eliminated immediately. Also very good Valkyrie cam spot there from Melo, placing it in towards the vending machine, in which he'll be able to have good amount of access right towards that hallway. Although for now round 8 will proceed. 4-3 is the scoreline. The site will be on Bunk and Dick.
Interestingly and slightly worryingly, if I do say so myself, Live to Kill got very jumpy as soon as they had the advantage, right? It was what, a 1 versus 4. And sure, the first kill being taken by Kurosaki, I guess it's fine, you have 3 players inside a site. But then you have the second one dropping because everyone is peeking that dragon door, right? At any point in time, had Kurosaki held that spray maybe, or had he, just a little bit more intel, he might have been able to make that a 1v1. Now, whether or not he could have taken the bandit on in that situation head on from Dragon is a different issue entirely. What I'm trying to say here is Live to Kill getting a bit hyper in that situation. As soon as they had a massive advantage, they were very much willing to get the kill at all costs, and that the at all cost of that end round can certainly come back to bite them if they are not careful. They certainly wisened up right towards the end, but the point still stands. You don't want to let your final opponent get a bit too far ahead in terms of momentum, because once they start building that up, a 1v4 suddenly becomes a 1v2, maybe even a 1v0. It can happen. It certainly happened before, albeit rarely. But there is precedent where teams have gotten too far ahead of themselves. In the meanwhile, Extra's going to take a big kill. That's blank off the board. Where did that even happen? Inside of the bathroom. That's a little unfortunate. That is the mute. Excuse me, they're taken care of. A big drop indeed, as Kurosaki will take a bit of damage, but that is merely a goo mine going into his shin and coming back out nice and quickly, making sure that the poisons don't do too much damage. Minute 30 on the clock as VPGR have made their way fairly close to the site main hallway. Now the real question is, can they execute from there? It seems to me that they want to go through Initiation much the same way that Live to Kill attempted a few rounds ago. They've certainly got the time to do it, and a Maverick breach hole to emphasize from via grenades and whatnot, and there might be one coming in any second now. Shrisha takes a bit of damage while Excuse me right there. Takes a bit of damage while trying to clear that out, as the smoke grenades will go out as well, and the final grenade goes through. The breach will happen now that the bandit batteries are off the board. Kills switch has fallen back nice and quickly. 50 seconds on the clock. VPG very close to sight. This could very well be their round once again.
Well, and with it, the first frag will come into Kurosaki as well, taking out Fatals, and also a nice shot coming in from him as well. Putting in a 3v5, L2K is not looking in a very good position. Bandit goes down, and so does Kurosaki in the hands of Mello. Looks like Dopo will be able to find one more, taking out Mello as well with Leech to JV, clutching it out in a 1v4 situation. Will be able to find one, but needs to find three more in a post-plan situation. And with it, Shrisha will get the last kill as well. Vanquish Paradox will be the one to win round 8. Second floor bunk and daycare. And yet again, the score will be equalized. 4-4 will be the score. And also, we take a look at the scoreboards. 11 kills to the player on the side of L2K, I believe. Quite a lot of I believe that was the only player who had that double-digit kill there. Yep, there you go. L2K. That's going to be Fatals with a total of 11 kills, and Kurosaki with 8. And also, and to be honest, talking about the both play style in the second half, both of them exceed my expectations. They're performing extraordinarily well on both the attack as well as on defense. So according to me, it's all about the mistakes that both of these teams had to capitalize on. Maybe eliminating the roamers first and then try to get towards the site, or just they have to open up the walls as soon as possible, having a lot of time to go for the push, try to understand what kind of positionings that they're playing, and then go for the push to eliminate them one by one. That actually works out well for VPG. Also for L2K, not quite sure what Fatals was doing. That's actually a really good vault parkour there. Most of the time you'd use the railings to get to the top of that the wooden place that we go through. I actually didn't know that you can actually go towards the stairs and then just go towards that vault parkour. We'll be able to learn much more from L2K, the way how experienced, and also they have good amount of map awareness. I mean, the same thing goes to VPG as well. The only thing is the only problem is the gunfights, I believe. Most of the time where Blank gets early picked out from Exter, in which we did get to see that in previous round, and also on Armory and Throne Room, where L2K had the upper hand, where Jack said they went in a bit jumpy. They went in aggressive at the last time, where it was a 1v4 situation, where it did get converted into 1v2, and VPG almost had the chance to actually win that round out. Unfortunately, L2K decided to just wait for time. It did work out well, and with it, they did 1-1 defense. So did Vanquish Paradox on the attack as well. Round 9, the side being on bunk and daycare will be the same for VPG's attack. They will be familiar with their positionings. The only difference is there may be some slight altercations, though. You have Fatals with the Goya's Vulcan Shield, you have JV with the Legion Goo Mines, and also they have to worry about the Valkyrie scams. That's the reason why they bought in Kurosaki the IQ, to make sure that they'll be able to take out those scams as best as possible, denying them information and also giving them the higher chances to win. Now, L2K's main focus is to make sure that they would waste a lot of time to open up the walls on second floor bunk, and also have to survive at the same time. The ADS will get caught of one of those utilities, whereas Nostalgia will be able to take out another one, which would give them the confirmation and also opening up the walls, in which it gets denied from kill switch. A good use of the bandit charges. It is too late to open up the second one, so he will fall back in towards the bunk bomb place. Looks like a lot of tension has been brewing between both these teams, as a lot of utilities been exchanged back and forth as we reach the 1 minute mark.
That's a line of sight and an entryway, but Mello's not going to allow this to go through. Not for long. He will find Kurosaki as the first kill goes to him. That's a big drop, and Nostalgia's been downed as well. Not looking good right here. That's not going to bode well for the side of VPG. They tried the same thing this time as they did in the last, coming through initiation. While Extra is holding a different angle than he was in the previous round, is it going to be enough? He sees the Jaeger can't quite get the head of Blank. That's unfortunate, as the Jaeger can come back to bite them quite hard right towards the end of the round. 30 seconds remain, 4 versus 5. All defenders alive, and a line of sight and an entryway, while Blank will make it all the more harder. Trisha goes down as another peek comes in. That's Fatals to take 1, Fatals to take 2. Nostalgia and Extra drop, but Dope Up gets 1, trying to get retaliation, but he is down. And he is out of here. Fatals will make sure of that with the 3rd kill going in his books in that situation. The man cannot be stopped when he gets going. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be another round for Lift to Kill. They seem to be the ones to take the lead initially in this back and forth that they have had with VPG for the longest time now. But as we go into 5-4 in the round count, the 10th round comes out to play. And once again, just like L2K faced punishment for their repetition not too long ago, we have, VPG getting punished for their the repetition in this round. A pause has been asked from the side of L2K. Seems like they seem to have a little bit of an issue of their own in this situation. And it has, of course, been paused. First floor, armor in throne room, the side of choice. You get the point. I mean, we've already talked about this, but looking at the scoreboard right now, 14 kills to Fatals. The man is definitely done some work, as looks like... I see. The reason for the pause has been revealed, ladies and gents. It is the fact that the communication application that the side of L2K use is having a bit of a server issue, so they're switching over to a different one to make sure that their comms are on point, and we will be resuming the match as well, nice and quickly. Excuse me there. Nice and quickly, the match will resume. No delays. Well, not by much at the very least in this match, nice and quickly. But I do have to say, excuse me right there, in round 9, just like I said, repetition from Vanquish Paradox got them punished. They wanted to go through initiation again. And we see this from teams time and time again, as they want to emphasize on those plays, on those holds that they have done and have been successful on before. The main issue with that is that you can't exactly do the same thing again, especially against Live to Kill. Just like Live to Kill learned that you cannot afford to do anything remotely close to the same in the next round as you won with in a previous round against VPG. VPG learned that Live to Kill will not allow them to get away with any sort of repetition as well. With the 10th round heading into action phase, and we're heading back to Armor and Throne Room, let's see what Live to Kill have to bring out. Well, more importantly, let's see what VPG have to bring out to change things up and hopefully take Live to Kill by storm.
Well, talking about VPG's previous on round 7 Armory and Throne Room, things did not quite go well in their favor. This time there might be some difference though. We see Kurosaki with the Jackal trying to find footprints to get that maximum information towards the opposition team. That is a very good intel operator though. The Jackal, most of the time you do see him get banned on maps like Coastline, and also some particular maps where they are, they don't have any problem dealing with hard breaches though. C4 comes in, does it connect? No, it actually gets taken out in midair. Too bad we didn't get to see it though, but the denial will come in from Kill Switch. It's not going to work out well because they have an entryway plus an angle in towards the maintenance room with Srisha holding that angle. He has the diffuser in hand. Still, L2K needs to mainly worry about the gong room and the maintenance room. That's exactly where their main push come in. That's exactly the same push that they did in round 7 too. The only difference is, will we see some changes in the execution phase, or will we see some, unexpected aggressive pushes either from Exter or from the Jackal? We're about to find out with the third Selma Breach charges being opening up in towards the barrel to open up yet another angle in towards the throne room. JV will be in the corner side, in which unfortunately he gets taken down from Srisha. It's important kill and also an access towards that specific site on throne room. All they need is to just use those two smoke grenades, in which they will use it as of now. Let's have kill switch. doesn't want to give them the control, but looks like Shrisha has got it covered, taking out Blank, and they will decide to go for that plant as Extra gets one more, taking out Melo, putting in a 2v5. Fadals needs to figure this one out, but it is too late. Post-plant situation comes in. Kill switch tries to make a play, but instead gets taken out from Extra, and Kurosaki in the end taking out Petals and give them a flawless round in 10, giving them the victory in Armory and Throne Room. As I talked about it, it is going to be neck and neck between both of these teams here. L2K was in lead, but now it's going to be VPG to equalize the round count and also to see whether who will be the one to get to match point. Is it going to be L2K or VPG? We're about to find out in the second half, but I do have to talk about how good VPG's attack coordination was. They opened up the walls both on armory into was barrels and also maintenance, use the smoke to block their lines of sight so that they'll be able to go for the plant, whereas the attackers were holding the angles on both the hallway as well as the entrances in which the smoke was there. You wouldn't expect a specific defender who would go through the smoke to get an information to get those kills. And also the way how VPG played that site was so good that it left L2K speechless. And looks like they will continue to go to that side yet again. Armory and Throne Room. No difference in operators at all. No difference in operators from Vanquish Paradox's attacks at all. The only difference is some major changes in positionings. Maybe Melo might go for roaming. Maybe Blank might go do the roaming duty to who would try to defend in towards the Dragon Stairs window, or also in towards Cash Room. So it's all up to L2K, and also we'll be able to see it when the prep phase comes to an end. Oh boy, this is 5-5. We have absolutely no idea on who's going to win it, but there is a highest chances where this might go to overtime.
Oh, most certainly. Overtime is a big possibility in this situation. As okay, I don't think Fatals quite likes the prop fire that's been used inside of the armory area. I can understand, a little bit of immersion broken moment as Blank is trying to make sure that my magnet discs don't end up destroying the bandit batteries going in. Excuse me, right there, into this situation. It's certainly going to make for a it's certainly going to be a bad time if your own My Magnet takes out your own anti-hard breach utility. But Killswitch, he knows about the magnet right behind him on the wall. In fact, that's a good position, I'd say. That's certainly going to help them take care of the grenades that will fly from Shrisha any second now, or even smoke grenades. Really, anything could come in to try and deny this push. And once again, the C4 will be shot out of mid-air. Kill switch. That's a 2-for-2 for the man. Another grenade comes in. No, that's merely a smoke grenade. And now a full-on grenade comes in. And there we go. It's all coming in. And Killswitch cannot do anything to deny the hard breach coming out towards maintenance. That is big plays from VPG. It's all happening. Line of sight and entry has been made. Nosta goes out towards the barrels region. And the man is going to try and do the same thing over there with a slightly less, slightly reduced success rate, as Melo in the meanwhile being tracked by the Jackal, position given away, but the Jackal's going to find somebody else. That's Blank off the board. Big drop. And now, Live to Kill in trouble. They've just lost another. Kurosaki doing work. Double kill. Fatals has taken damage. Minute 10 on the clock. VPG looking strong yet again. Ooh, ill-advised.
Well, talking about ill-advised, JV will get one, taking out Exter, but the damage has been done. It is 1v4. He actually gets the second, but instant refrag will come in from Shrisha. And with it, VPG will be the one to win round 11 and also be the first to get match point. Round 12 will proceed, and we'll get to see what kind of site does L2K will go to. Will they go on second floor bunk? Will they decide to stick to first floor armory and throne room? Looks like they won't go to that site yet again and decide to hold their last ground in second floor bunk. Talking about the way how VPG is attacking, looks like it is working well in their favor. Though I believe the Tachanka pick from L2K will be 6 pick out to a different operator. There you go. It will get switched out to the Jaeger, and with it, this match point is in for VPG, and L2K's also has a way to win their round, hopefully to put this match on overtime. Problem is, VPG winning another attack round in round 11 gives them the higher chances of winning this attack round too, unless and until L2K doesn't make a mistake. Talking about mistakes though, L2K, especially the bandit who was trying to, block the entryway of barrels, in which it wasn't a good idea. It could have worked out if they did try to bring in some roamers, maybe, two of the players who try to get, who's trying to, delay the control of barrels as well as the maintenance room where the attackers were making lines of sight instead of going for a denial. And since Kaid is banned, it will bring a lot of problems for the defenders to try to defend in the armory and throne room, knowing that they have needs to worry about. They need to worry about the Mavericks breaching torch being used, and also a lot of problems that they have to worry about. Although, talking about L2K, if they did ban, if they did ban Maverick instead of Nomad, it would have been a different case in the Armory and Throne Room side itself. Don't you agree, Jack?
Well, given everything we've seen so far from Lift to Kill's defense, maybe changing side is certainly the option to go for them in this situation. And that could certainly work. But again, they have to stay vigilant and on their guard at all times, while denying summer breaches and making sure that hard breach isn't allowed to go through is very important for the defenders, regardless of whatever side you're holding. It's theme park. You don't want to give attackers any additional room because they don't have any good line of entry. Attackers have to force their way in by making different lines of entry in theme park. That's basically how this map flows, and VPG has been doing that very, very well. But unfortunately, they, for Lift to Kill that is, they haven't quite been able to emphasize where you'd think they'd be able to do so. And that is, once the breach does go through, their positioning and the gunfights that they're taking. They keep getting caught out in unfortunate situations and keep getting taken down because of it, and that has not been their friend. Excuse me, they're not in the slightest. JV, in the meanwhile, he's going to take some damage as a Jackal scan goes off. Kurosaki is seen one, and he's trying to get him. That might be the mute right there. C4 attempt, and it will find him. The Jackal becomes the hunted blank. Ooh, boy, that was a C4 toss and a half. L2K have been trying for a C4 play, and Blank gets a second one. More and more, the round goes on. They're closer and closer. We head to overtime. This could be a very real possibility, but Nostalgia might have something to say about that. He has found Fatals, and that's another big drop. The castle is off the board, and things are looking just a little bit less secure for Lift to Kill. 40 seconds on the clock. VPG, time is of the essence. They don't even have a man advantage. They haven't taken out Kill Switch yet, let alone getting close to sight. There's two players just off sight, very close to, mind you, that are doing the work right now in Kill Switch. Peeked out for just a second, didn't get taken out. He's lucky in this situation. I won't say lucky, though. He's going to do a bit of damage and take a bit of damage instead. Extra's pushing up. Will he be seen? Yes, he does. The call-out didn't come out in time, but Extra, he's not looking the right way, but Dope will find JV and get taken out. Nostalgia finds Blank. It's a 1v2. Mello, last man standing. This is all or nothing for the man. He finds one. All he needs to do is get Nostalgia, who's going to go in, survives the C4, and he will take the kill! Mello will fall, and VPG will barely scrape by off the back of Nostalgia, taking the final kill. They will deny overtime, ladies and gentlemen, and it is the vanquished Paradox team to take Theme Park 7-5. What a match, and what a way to finish this game, ladies and gentlemen. Fatals with 14. Take a bow, but you still have some fantastic plays throughout that entire game that we got to see. That 1v1. Boy, that came close. Let us say that much. What a match. A fantastic game between both sides, but VPG will continue to stake their claim for the top spot of Division 2 and their right to be promoted to the top tier of the region. Division 1 could very well be theirs. Whether or not will be, we'll find out. But we've got quite a bit to go over for this game, as we'll be talking about those in Relive the Moment, the highlights of the match that we just had. And I have to say, Baba, I'm going to give it over to you, because that end round really did a number on my throat right there.
I mean, to be honest, Jack, the way how the reaction from the ace, knowing that there was a C4, he decided to fall back and get in at the right time to take out the bandit. And also Blank was trying to make sure he would get this match to overtime, but unfortunately he could not. And looks like VPG has proved on how dangerous that they can be in attack. Quite a lot of back and forth rounds coming in between these two teams. L2K, they gave everything they got, especially in towards the defending sides where L2K was on attack. Most of the time, where the side being on Armory and Throne Room, they did make one decision where they decided to push in towards Yellow Stairs. It did work out once, it did not work twice. And then they decided to just switch it out in a different site, though. They decided to just open up the barrels as well as the maintenance room, which it did work out well for L2K. The same thing. VPG also did the same thing too in the second half, and they actually had a higher chances of winning in Armory and Throne Room. Although they did, L2K did win it out on round 7, where they went way too aggressive on defense, eliminating players one by one, and also winning second floor bunk in daycare in round 9. Looks like L2K needs to work out on their defensive strategies, because to be honest, I did not expect VPG to win that attack phase in the second half itself. What a way to make that plays there. And also you get to see how aggressive Ash was at the last round, though. Also, I do have to give credit to Exter as well, the way how he was performing, the way how at the execution phase where he was trying to get those kills, and he did get it both on attack as well as on defense. You did get to see how aggressive he was on attack too. And Exter, he did all he can to get those kills, even though most of the time he was always left with a total of 1 or 2 HP, because he's Ash, obviously, because most of the time he would always the Ash mains always win in most of the gunfights and would leave them in a very difficult situation. But in the end, it's always about information that the Ash gives, and also gives the higher advantage when it comes to man count and also getting the win as well. Although L2K, they did try their best, especially Blank, and so did Fatals too. He had a total of 14 kills, I believe. But oh boy, that finale though. Oh boy, I did not expect to see that. L2K almost had the round in hand, just because of that C4 being tossed. If he was in that C4's area of effect, he would have just gone. The match would have been gone to overtime. But he just immediately denied that. The way how aggressive VPG went, oh boy, I did not expected to see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. And also, what attack phase coming in from VPG, constantly winning first for Armory and Throne Room. The site on Throne Room was where VPG had the upper hand. The way how they were pushing, they knew that there were players in Armory. All they had to do was to just remove one player in Armory, use the smokes to their advantage, help the attackers to hold an angle, whereas the attackers would go in for the plant right into towards Throne Room and then get the win. They succeeded twice, and that's all they need to win one more attack on second floor bunk in daycare. And with it, we take a look at the standings, where VPG will be in the top, having a very high round conversion rate of 25, and also 15 points, which would give them the higher chances of them being promoted to Division 1. So does Team L2K, though they almost had the match in hand, but unfortunately it was too late. Followed up with ESM Super, who will be in the 3rd position. Oh boy, what a way to end the match here, don't you agree, Jack?
Oh, absolutely. 15 points to VPG, 25 round conversion rate. They are almost absolutely set for Div 1. And I say almost absolutely. I mean, at this point, there's really no denying it. 15 points, that's pretty much the threshold for a concrete promotion. And the only thing that could knock them down from there is some sort of world-ending scenario in Div 2. while the possibility of that is, slim, it's never quite not there, if you will. So week 3 of Div 2 is going to be all the more interesting. But that is going to be it for the night, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be ending things here after a set 3. Fantastic games for this night. And I do have to say, it has been a fun, very, very fun day to cast alongside Baba with Foxy, adminning for the matches. And of course, I wasn't there in the first game, and I was enjoying Baba and Foxy's casting from the back, just chilling. It is what it is. But speaking of things that are happening and are fun to watch and cast, Season 5 qualifiers are live. The registrations for which, are live, ladies and gentlemen. Head on over to the Esports Club to check out the solo and team registrations for the qualifiers for the final season of the Pro League. That is right. We had 5 months of the initial WD Black the Esports Club League for Rainbow Six Siege. Now we've had 4.5 months, and going into the 5th month for this WD Black the Esports Club Pro League for Rainbow Six Siege. 1 more month, 1 more qualifiers phase, and 1 more division stage remains, and we will go there very soon. The qualifiers registrations are live, so make sure you head on over and register to be in the thick of the action for 1 more season, and we will see you there. But more importantly, tomorrow we will be going live with Division 1, a fantastic to play, to see, and to cast, and we will see you there, all of us here at the Esports Club, tomorrow on Saturday. Stay tuned, and good night.